This is a Planet Vero production for Evergreen Media. And now it's time to put you on the spot with EGM.
Hey everyone, I'm Janay.
And I'm Tay, and we're so excited to bring you a teaser of the No One Told Me podcast. So, I can't believe this is happening, Janay. This is exciting.
I know, it came so quick.
We've been planning this for so long. Now it's actually happening.
It's finally here.
I know. Well, and then, we'll have the full episode in, next week. So, but we just wanted to let everyone know, too, and kind of give everyone an intro on what's going on with the podcast and a little bit more subject area of what we're going to talk about. So what we've done is we have asked for some questions in regards to what the podcast is going to look like. So I'm going to read a few of these, and then Janay and I are going to discuss them. So one of the questions wrote in is, what is the objective of your podcast? What are the areas of discussion? Who will you feature on your show? And as a host, what do you bring to the table? So, in our intro, we have in pregnancy highs and lows, we're tackling the I didn't know. So, anywhere from preconception to conception to actual childbirth to parenthood. We'll cover topics all throughout the subjects. We'll have different representatives and professionals from the community coming in and discussing different topics that we just don't hear a lot about. And then, Janay, you have 3 kids. So what do you feel as a host you feel like you're bringing to the podcast?
What I feel like I'm bringing to the podcast are subjects that weren't touched on when I was a first-time parent, and I was not educated on what to expect. I had no idea that we had free prenatal education classes. I never knew that after I gave birth, I could feel detached from this baby, and it's just like, oh my God, what am I going through?
Yeah.
What am I experiencing? Like, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
It just drives you completely insane. And to know that these resources were available for me during that time, I just did not know about them until it was, I wouldn't say it was too late, because when I went on to have my other 2 kids, I did know about them, and it helped me tremendously.
Yeah.
So I feel like this podcast is going to be a banger for those who don't know what resources are available for them.
I agree. And I have no children, so I'm serving as the current aunties that are helping their sister-in-laws, or anyone in their circle of friends that are expecting or wanting to have kids. And then eventually when I do have kids, this will be amazing information. And as I learn along the way as we, conduct this podcast, it'll be great information when I do have kids, because then I'll not know everything, but I will know a lot that I didn't already know.
Exactly.
Okay, so another one of the questions, I recently found out about Healthy Start and the programs that are offered for Indian River County residents. I feel bad about accepting the services because I feel that I'm taking away support from someone who needed it more.
And as crazy as that sound, that is probably one of the most common lines that we hear within the people from the Indian River County community, because people feel as if, oh, I can afford a nanny, or, I'm in this tax bracket, or so, I can't afford this, or I can't afford that, that they are taken away from another resident within Indian River County. And that is completely false. Healthy Start is catering to anyone who is a parent, whether you are first-time mom and dad, whether you are seasoned and you know what you're doing, but you're just struggling in some areas, because regardless of if you can afford a nanny or not, at the end of the day, when that nanny leaves, you still have to know how to be a parent.
Right.
Because you can, but at some point you're still going to have to be a parent.
Yeah.
And you're going to need to know, or just have some guidance on what you're doing.
Right. And you don't know what you don't know, right? So
exactly.
It doesn't really matter what you, like you said, what you don't have or what you do have, but it's also where Healthy Start can stand in, or just the community resources can stand in and support that gap of where you may need support.
Correct. And then it's also fundamental to know that, say, for instance, we have one listener who knows someone who may be experiencing a topic that we are discussing. And that parent may be one of those parents of, well, you don't know me and you don't know anything and you can't tell me how to parent. But if it's coming from someone that they know, they feel more comfortable with accepting that information.
Yeah, exactly.
That feedback.
Because it's better, when you have the same lived experiences too, sometimes it's more easy or to connect and understand.
Someone on your level.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. totally. I get that. So we'll cover a bunch of different topics in regards to that. But you know, Healthy Start is free to all. I think that's something that we don't advertise enough, but Healthy Start is free to all moms and residents of Indian River County. It's not just moms, it's dads as well, and families and grandparents and whoever is interested in, you know, being that parental role in a child's life. So, every resource that we have is free, and we, you know, really want to advertise that to any mom, any father.
And even though we are embedded within the hospital here, Cleveland Clinic, and we are also stationed at Partners, we do go beyond those services. Like we have IBCLC on our team, Linda from WIC. You know, we have so many community resources that we can connect parents with to help them along the way. No matter what level you're at with parenting, we can meet you there. Yeah. So we just want everyone to know that.
Perfect. Love it. Okay. And then let's see. I'm a parent who does not plan on expanding my family. Will I still benefit from listening to this show? Yes. Yes, you will. I'm not a parent. And, you know, obviously this person is not planning to expand their family, but I'm not a parent at all. And I feel like no matter where you stand on this pendulum of wanting kids, not wanting kids, maybe you're just going to be a support for someone that you love who wants to have kids. This is a podcast for you too, because there's so many resources, so many topics we're going to cover. I'm so excited. You kind of put together our agenda for the next couple months and what that's going to look like. And I think that there's so many awesome conversations that are going to be had in this room and with different professionals from our community. And I'm really excited to hear what people take away from this conversation. And then actually, this is kind of a good segue into the next question is, someone did submit, is there a way to submit questions and topics of interest of this, you know, if someone who has interest to cover on our podcast? Like, how do they do that? And what's the best way?
So if you are going to be a listener on our podcast, and if we do not cover a topic that you would like to know more about, all you have to do is send me an email at janay@irchealthystart.org, and we will make sure that we get that topic aired with those answers that you need.
Yeah, perfect. Well, we didn't dive. That was one of the last questions. We only took 5 of them, but I did want to just give everyone a little insider on like why we're passionate about doing this, and like that really this podcast stemmed out of a campaign in 2020 based on just a bunch of different, exactly what we've been talking about this whole time, a bunch of different topics that aren't spoken about a lot, that are either taboo or just forgotten, or I didn't know that. So Janay, like what is your biggest passion and objective of you sitting on this podcast as a host?
So my biggest objective is just letting everyone know that the services that we offer at Healthy Start, we are not an organization who we don't know what we're talking about, or we're just looking at statistics all day. We are actually embedded in the community. We have our feet to the ground. We are actually interacting with these families. So when we bring a new program to this community, it's because we've done the work that is needed to cater to our county of Indian River in specific. Right. Because, you know, we're receiving feedback constantly. If, for instance, FEMA, you know, that's how we stem a lot of our programs. And so I feel like that's very important for people to know that we're not just bringing programs to this community and just hoping that they're going to be successful. We're looking at situations that have occurred, that will be occurring, and we're trying to prevent them from occurring again. Yeah. And so
and you have a story yourself, you know, I do. So which I'm sure we'll share as we get into some of the longer podcasts. But so you have a lived experience that will definitely tie into a lot of the topics we're talking about.
Most definitely. Yeah. So we're excited, and we hope you guys are all excited as well.
Yeah. Yeah. This is definitely something new to us, and we're really excited to jump in and again, highlight community resources and just have raw, organic discussion, you know, and things that
not make it an interview.
Honestly, I'm going to learn a lot of things that I didn't learn probably sitting in this chair. And, you know, as we prepare and, you know, talk about different topics we want to cover, there's just so many things that we can talk about. So I'm excited for that. And as, like I said, someone who's an individual who's wanting kids later on, but not a parent at this moment. I just think there's so much opportunity for anyone to listen to this and gain some knowledge. And
I'm so excited about next week's podcast
yes.
and having Megan on air, because she's so experienced and, you know,
yes.
she's lived through so much.
Exactly.
Especially just being the former director over the women's department over at Cleveland Clinic for years. So we're going to bring some really great people from midwives who are actively delivering and, you know, other community partners that you guys are really going to love. So
I think that's great. And it's on all streaming platforms. We'll, you know, be following us on Instagram and different platforms so that we can let you know of those streaming platforms. But pretty much all the primary streaming platforms will be on. But August 24th. We will be airing for the first time in full length. So we hope you guys have enjoyed our 10-minute teaser of the No One Told Me podcast with
Janay
and Tay. And we are so excited to bring you our first guest on the 24th, Megan McFall. She is the Chief Executive Director of, not Cleveland Clinic, she was the Chief Executive Officer of Indian River County Healthy Start Coalition. So we're excited to bring that to you next week.